welcome back to my channel. I just want to take a minute and say thank you guys so much, because I know that you bunch have grown quite a bit over the last couple of days, and it's been super exciting. And genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. I'm gonna stop blabbing now and just let you guys go and enjoy this Zoom interview with TechGalDiaries. So, hi, would you like to introduce yourself to all of our viewers?
Sure. So I'm Jasmine. I'm currently a fourth-year student at the University of British Columbia. I study business and computer science, and I was previously an intern at Best Buy Canada as a digital design intern, and as well as a software engineering intern at Nordstrom.
Yeah, so a lot of my viewers know that I'm doing the Bachelor of Computer Science and Master of Management degree, and you already mentioned you're also doing something with business, and definitely have a lot of experience in the industry already. So would you like to tell us a little bit more about your degree and how it might be a little bit different from what I'm doing?
Sure. So what I'm doing is a combined major in business and computer science. So it is a bachelor's degree, and it is about an equal mix of all the computer science requirements and all the business requirements. So we only have about 2 electives, which is not a lot for an entire degree. And so yeah, we're taking mostly required courses. So we learn everything from accounting, finance, the basics of that, as well as all the computer science concepts like data structure, algorithms, databases, things like that. And what Sophie is doing is a undergraduate degree in computer science combined with a master's of management program. So it is a additional degree on top of what she is already doing.
Yeah, that's pretty much spot on. So a lot of you guys might be thinking, I don't have that at my university or something. It might not be exactly the same thing, but I would really encourage you guys to, if you're into computer science or just business, try and dabble in the other kind of field as well. What made you choose your degree, that unique kind of combination of business and computer science?
Yeah, so what made me choose my degree was that when I was in high school, I did a few classes in business and a few classes in technology. We didn't really have a lot of computer science classes, but I took a web design class and a digital media summer camp. So that kind of excited me, and I was like, okay, I'll try this degree out since there's this option. If I decide that I like business more and I don't like computer science, or the other way around, then I could always switch out, but might as well give it a shot. So I decided to just do it. And then in my first year, it was really tough, but I think I started to enjoy it more and I just stuck with it. So yeah, I've been really enjoying it actually.
That's awesome to hear, yeah. So nowadays, a lot of kind of the industries are moving away from hardware products more into software, or also software as a service and offering services online. So how important do you see coding or programming when it comes to launching a business nowadays?
Yeah, so I think it totally depends on what type of business that you're thinking of launching, but I think you can never go wrong with having some technical skills in your back pocket, just because if you come up with something like making a website or just changing some HTML or some code on the screen that you already have, then it's a lot easier for you to customize it yourself than to try to find someone else. And I've heard a lot of horror stories about having really terrible developers who just mess up or don't really understand the vision. So it's really cool just being able to have those technical skills. And not only that, but if you have some technical skills, you have the mindset that you will be able to learn whatever kind of comes up. So even if you don't know a specific programming language, or you don't know how to do a specific thing, oh, I don't know how to add this thing onto this special feature that I need to make, you have the skills to be able to go out there and find a tutorial or something and be able to get it done. So I think just having some technical skills never really hurts you. I think it's really helpful for somebody who's trying to start something of their own, just because they have more control over what they want to create and not be completely dependent on someone else.
Right, you'll have more control of actually realizing your vision and not having to put it into someone else's hands. Yeah, that's great advice. And also nowadays startups are very common, and people from different industries having ideas to kind of create their own online stores, for example. Let's say you have a small bakery and you want to sell your baked goods online as well. You might want to set up an online store. So in the future, do you think, well, nowadays a lot of that is outsourced. So let's say that bakery would then go to like a software engineering company and would ask them to build it for them. But do you think that in the future, these kind of entrepreneurs or people that work in other industries are going to start programming these things more on their own, and that there'll be less of this like outsourcing of programming to other companies, since programming is becoming more and more like mainstream?
Yeah, I think for almost every industry, they also hire developers or technology employees of their own. I think very few companies right now, they're really interested in outsourcing all of their technology, just because, like you said, even for small companies or people doing something of their own, they want more control over what they want to create and things like that. And there's a lot of information actually held by companies, and they are really reluctant to share with third parties because that causes a lot of issues for them. So I think in every single industry that you can see out there, they're hiring a lot of technology, people who understand technology and know how to use it, because there's everything from managing their databases to cybersecurity to software engineering, and they're always in demand. So I think that no matter what industry you're going to, there's companies out there looking for talent like that, and just having those technical skills would really be a great way to start.
Awesome, yeah. And nowadays there's obviously all of these tools like Wix and Squarespace, for example, where you can literally just like one afternoon sit down and build your website or build your online store without having to actually write a single line of code. How do you see that these tools kind of affect the necessity to actually learn to code nowadays?
Yeah, so I think if you're just looking at something like building a website, then sure, drag and drop things might work for you. But why there's still a demand for developers is because sometimes it's not as simple as drag and dropping. You don't want a cookie cutter website sometimes, and you don't want the same website as like a million other people out there. And if something breaks on the website, if you don't know any technical skills, you would also have to hire a developer to help fix it for you, or even just to change something really simple, like, oh, I want this to be on the right side instead of the left side. And sometimes the drag and drop editors aren't very helpful for customizing it a lot of the times. And also, if you want something more interactive and something that's really personal to you, you would have to find a developer to do it, because the drag and drop websites, they usually are made for people who just want to get a simple website out there and it looks a lot of the same like other people's. So it's a good way to start if you just want a website out there quickly. But also keep in mind that those tools can be quite expensive. They usually have a membership plan and it could run up to a couple $100 a year. So the maintenance costs for those are also quite high. So I don't think I don't think it's a great idea if you want to keep something long-term and you want to completely customize. But if you're just starting out and want to dabble a little bit in making a website, then those tools are great just because of the simplicity of it.
Yeah, awesome. And kind of having a little bit of startup background myself, I just want to throw in there that especially when you have a smaller business and you're kind of establishing your online presence for the first time with your first website or something, it's really, really important to really sell the story or tell the story of your business to your customers. And obviously the more tailored the website is to your brand, to your business, the easier that is. So yeah, being able to actually have that customization is really valuable, even if you're starting out, in my opinion. And given that these tools exist and that they can be used for web development, for example, which is a big part of software engineering and software development, do you see the future of computer science? I mean, this is a big and hard question, but do you think that in the future, the focus of computer science and the job market might shift a little more towards data science and artificial intelligence, these more like data-heavy disciplines compared to software engineering?
I don't really think so, based on my personal experiences. I've worked a lot on front-end interfaces and also being on software engineering teams. And I would say that there is almost an equal demand for both people who understand software engineering and the front end of tasks, as well as the back end, like the data science, the machine learning, and things like that. Just because I think a lot of the times the companies themselves, they aren't there yet. They're still kind of working their way towards the digital transformation. And by the time that happens, it will probably be a while. So a lot of these companies, they're still really looking forward to improving the user interfaces, understanding how to really serve their customers best. Especially for the companies that I've worked for, they're mainly e-commerce/retail companies. They're really focusing on the customers. So it's not only important to understand like the algorithms behind the purchasing decisions or like showing products that they want to see and things like that, but it's also really important. So like if they come across any touch point of ours, like on the website or mobile, that they have a good experience. So it's not just the behind the scenes. Like we could have a really cool algorithm, but if they come to a website, it's really messy, they can't find anything, that won't really help them either. So I think software engineering skills are always going to be quite in demand just because of the volume of tasks and work that needs to be done for these companies. And I think it goes into a lot of different areas like user interface design, as well as back-end software engineering and things like that.
Right. I mean, I guess a good way to put it is you can have a really great backend, but if it's unusable to the user, no one's going to be using it, so it's technically useless. So yeah, the UX and UI is actually very important. That's a good point. Do you have any advice for someone that kind of wants to start coding, either just for fun or really with the purpose of kind of creating an online presence or starting kind of an entrepreneurial business or something?
Yeah, for sure. So I actually have a video on my YouTube channel called 5 Free Ways to Learn How to Code. And I think that will be a good resource for anyone who's interested in trying code for the first time. There's a bunch of cool websites I listed there, and they're all free. So it's a great way for somebody to start without completely committing themselves at first. And I think another good way to just start out is just to start practicing or try to build something of your own, because I think that both me and Sophie agree that we can watch as many tutorials as we want online, but if you don't actually do anything, then it won't really help you in the end, because learning about technology is actually a really practical skill, so you have to actually practice it to become better at it.
Yeah, you don't want to get stuck in that tutorial hell. So you already mentioned that you do have a YouTube channel, so I'd highly encourage all of you guys to go and check that out. It has some great videos on there. And are there any other ways that people can stay in touch with you or find you?
Yeah, so you can also find me on LinkedIn. It's just Jasmine Wu, and I think my YouTube channel will also be in the description below, so you guys can find me there. And there's also Instagram attached to it. So yeah, happy to answer any other questions if you guys have any.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here and for answering these questions for our viewers. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I really had a blast making it, and I honestly found it to be super interesting because these have all been topics that have really interested me personally, like how programming and computer science plays together with entrepreneurship and business and that kind of stuff. And TechGalDiaries was really one of the perfect people to ask. Definitely also go check out her channel. And yeah, thank you guys again so much for your support, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell, and share this video with anyone that you think might enjoy it and might just have some fun with it. So yeah, take care, and I'll see you soon.